Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. Danny, Kishan, Simon is in chat. Hidden Agendas is in chat. And Taufik. I've got your name right, I hope. Anyway, Bank Holiday Monday stream. Here we go. And there we are. Good morning, everybody. I don't know why I'm so orange. I think one of the filters I have on the stream is picking me up as orange. So I can only apologize. And if I do that, you will see the ghost of $130,000 Bitcoin behind me. Good morning. Well, this stream was not going to happen, and miraculously it has. It's a bank holiday here, so everything is closed apart from a few places which I had to go to this morning, and luckily they were open on time. We got back about an hour ago, so I've managed to do the stream, and we have a lot to talk about. It's Monday, it's charts day, which means what? We look at the DXY. We look at Bitcoin dominance, we look at the total market cap. We're going to have a little look at ETH Bitcoin today as well. We're going to look at their pair. We're going to have a look at the up-and-coming market news that we're going to see today. We're going to have a look at Flash Crash, Signals, ETH outperforming Bitcoin from here on in, Hidden Agenda, Life Hope, Light Hope, and that is your Monday in a bag. And, of course, we're going to look at the markets as well. Simon is in chat. Simon is from Monkey Muscle. And they do a poker night, which is so rewarding that their list of prizes doesn't fit on the screen. It's like a shopping list of prizes. And at some point, we are going to sponsor that if we can. Of course, we're going to try and give them something. Because even though we get paid by a couple of projects on Kronos, we like to give back. So one of the prizes we're giving away today on Delphi Market, it's called Delphi Trade, but it's a predictions market. We're giving away 4 free prediction bets. I don't think they're called bets. I don't think they're allowed to call them bets. Anyway, we've got 4. If you sent me your wallet picture before midnight last night, you are entered. And after this stream, I'm going to make one video in 2 parts because they want to run another competition. Now, you might say to yourself, how do I get hold of all of these competitions? We have a crypto warehouse giveaway channel with, I think, about 615 people in it right now. It was about 600 on Friday, so it's gone up a little bit. I will share the link in our Telegram group. I should probably share the link in here, but I can't at the minute, so I'll do that for tomorrow's show. But we're going to be doing another video after this to tell you who has won. I know Kishan has entered. I don't know who else has entered. Danny, I think, might have entered as well, so good luck to you all. Anyway, should we get on with the show? Wednesday. This week, Mew quiz. Mew has been in the news. I made a video about them yesterday. They have launched their DAO on Realms. What does that mean? Well, it means you can have a say in the direction of Mew. They've waited about 18 months. They've done a really good job. And now they're opening themselves up to a DAO. So we're going to talk a little bit about that on Wednesday. And, of course, we're going to have our quiz. And we're going to give away lots and lots and lots of prizes. Protagonist, that's a great big long list of tokens, some of which I, of course, like. Algorand is great. And a few of them are quite good. But anyway, I need to get on with the show. We're going to have a look at the markets first. I haven't updated, as you can see. I haven't updated everything simply because I literally ran in the door, got the articles together, and then had a shower. So I don't smell for you. You don't want me to smell. 1 second. Let me just change this. I'm going to be inspirational today. Monday is here. Okay, that's the inspiration for the day. Remember, we are not at the end of this cycle. I see a lot of people in chat. On X chat. Giving me a load of grief because I can't tell them when the end of the cycle is. Okay? Now, let me be very clear. I have said November the 24th, 2025 for 2 years. That's my end of the bull run. Now, I also have enough intelligence to realise that I am going to be wrong because I picked 4 years to the day after the 2021 all-time high. Now, clearly, it's not going to be the same goddamn day now, is it? But if you asked me, if you said to me, if I'm in Manchester and you said to me, how do I get to Liverpool? I'm not going to say to you, it's 27.32 miles away, north by northwest at a 272-degree angle. Now, am I? I'm going to say, go down the M62 or whatever motorway it is to get to Liverpool, and it'll be there, okay? So when I make a prediction, sun shines, it's not going to be 1,000% accurate now, is it? It is a line in the sand. If we get somewhere near the end of November, I'll be happy. Now, the caveat, which I have been saying is, a lot of experts, I'm not an expert, a lot of experts are saying that it can run until March next year. And those experts are financial experts, market experts, crypto experts, and I have to listen to their arguments. So although I still think it's going to be November or December, and I've been saying that for 2 years, I have to understand, like the people who were calling the top in March, I have to understand that I may be wrong. But until we get to October and we see what we're doing in the market, I'm not going to change my opinion. So for those people out there saying that he doesn't know when the end of the bull run is, nobody actually knows when the end of the bull run is, okay? Markets. Bitcoin came down. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Ethereum is still at 4,600, put in an all-time high yesterday. We're going to talk about that as well. XRP was over $3. It's now back below $3. Now, again, we get this a lot. Ethereum and $4,000, Ethereum and $3,000, XRP with $1, XRP with $3, Solana $200. We were, has this refreshed? Because I got a notification before saying that Solana was at $210 on my phone. I was going to say, there you go, Solana is up 21% at $203. Anyway, Solana struggles at $200. We can go further down. Cardano struggles at $1. Each coin has its own little argument. Look at Chainlink at $25. I called Chainlink 2 weeks ago at $25. We're at $25 and a cent. These prices that we're coming down to, they're no accident. We're going to cover that in a minute. But there's a lot of people quite worried, as you'd expect. I think we'll be down in September. Middle to end of September is when we bottom for Bitcoin, I think. And I think a lot of the alts are going to follow. I think Ethereum was going to put in an all-time high and then come down. Now, we technically put in an all-time high yesterday, so technically we could come down from there. It is not the time for alts to go absolutely rip-roaring to all-time highs in the summer before the end of the bull run. You go back and look at the last 2 cycles. The alts don't pump now. They pump October. So don't start getting cold feet. There's a lot of prices on here which are a lot better than they were. XRP at $3. Solana back at $200. Solana was at $12 2 years ago. XRP was at 30 or 40 cents. These have come a long way. Recency bias will kill you. Now, saying that, you need to be thinking about taking profits at some point. If Ethereum goes to $5,000, I was going to sell some Ethereum. And then I was going to wait for a retracement. And it didn't get there, did it? We got to 4,940, something like that. So we didn't quite wick to $5,000. And I'm not in a rush to sell, but I was going to sell a few. And now we're back down a little bit. So again, when have we ever put in an all-time high and not come down? We always do. We did it on XRP recently. We've done it on Ethereum. We could come down to 4,200, 3,800. Who knows? But Bitcoin is at a really interesting price. We'll bring the Bitcoin chart up as well. Now, gainers and losers. Today, what is up and what is down? Not many gainers. VeChain, maybe a little bit of hype, not a lot. I'm expecting not too much of a bloodbath either. Nope, not too much of a bloodbath. Pudgy is down, Mantle is down, Pendle is down, Athena is down, Morpho is down. Most of those coins have pumped recently. Mantle did, Pendle did, Ethena did, Morpho did. Morpho is actually still up 24% for the week. When you look at the 24-hour losers, for example, it's a good comparison to look at the 7-day. Now, Pudgy's on a tear. Take that one out for a second. But Pendle ripped up with its new launch of its new version 2 or version 3, I can't remember which one it was now. So that's having a bit of a come down. Morpho, which is in the news, that's another kind of DeFi type platform. That's had a big old pump and now it's retraced a little bit. It's a profit take. I'm not too worried about these. This one is trash, pump.fun. Had I thought about it, should I say, not had I known, because I did know. Had I thought about it, I would have shorted Pump from the day it went live. It's trash. I'm going to put that in the same category as Polkadot for coins that I am no longer going to talk about. So all in all, it's been a good few weeks. We're at all-time highs on new coins. Bitcoin is still hanging around above 110,000. Life is good. It's a bank holiday Monday. There's no traffic. I got a good night's sleep last night because it's a little bit cooler than 26 degrees at night, which is lovely. Now, this meme you might not remember. 44, yeah, could be 44, absolutely. We never keep going up in a straight line. We always correct to the downside, and it's 11.11. Right then, this meme is funny for a couple of reasons. This meme was used when Ethereum was trying to break $3,000. Was it not? I did say on my tweet that I would be joined by my Binance mug of coffee. Do you know this mug fits an entire cafetiere of coffee? An entire cafetiere goes in here of coffee. We're going to have several runs at $5,000, I think. I don't think we're going to break it and just go straight to $6,000, unless it's end of October. I think we're going to struggle. Look at 4,000. We covered that a couple of times. We broke $4,000 4 times, and it was only on the 4th time did we move up. And that was 4 times over a period of about, what, a year, 6 months? It happens. Right, Bitcoin is opened with a large CME gap today. This is the thing I'm worried about for the people who are shorting Bitcoin. It's the largest we've seen in several weeks. We have been opening up with gaps pretty often, and most of these have been filling on Monday or Tuesday. So as I was saying in chat before we went live to Kishan, we could very well wick back down to 110,000 in the next few hours. And then we can go up. We might have a little look at liquidations as well in a minute. It's always good to be aware that these gaps, aware of these gaps, but don't use them as your main analysis argument. Wholly agree. These gaps can work well once price starts closing them and gets close to it, but the further away, the less actionable it becomes. Absolutely, totally agree. So basically, there is no rhyme or reason for a CME gap to attract that much attention. But they do, and they close. Maybe it's the human psyche, who knows. But when we are within $1,000 or $2,000 of a CME gap, we close it. There have been many occasions in the past where the CME gap has been at $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, and we've never closed it. In fact, had we got the time, which we don't, we'd go and show you some of those. They don't close all the time, but they close 95% of the time. So if I was a betting man, I'd say 117,000, 116,500 could be a good target for Bitcoin this week. But again, I am not sitting here and telling you that we're going to 117,000 in the next few hours, because we could very well come down. Simon's got a short in. I do think Ethereum will come a lot lower than what we are. We only hit 4,950. We're only at 4,500 and 4,600 now. We could come down another chunk. Absolutely. And then the shorts will get liquidated when they build up enough. Now, I don't cover a lot of these very often, but they might be useful to people who farm this kind of stuff. So I thought I would include one for once. So this is Holly, I believe. Yep. Holly, I kind of worked with a little bit about 6 to 12 months ago. She knows her stuff. There are, I don't know what you want to call them, calls, engagement farmers, I don't care what you call them, out there that really know what they're talking about. And Holly is one of them, especially for Danny. I think Danny, who is watching, and maybe Simon and a few others. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, this list is not something that took 2 seconds to put together. Holly will have spent an hour or two putting this together. These are all the token generation events going on in the next couple of months. And each of these projects will be running some form of engagement farm where you can go and earn points and maybe earn these tokens, and then you can get those airdrops. Now, again, with all airdrops, what do? I sell them straight away. I have sold pretty much every airdrop I've ever been given, excluding probably dupe. I've held some for a little bit of time, but I've sold most of them. And that's what I would do with these. I would sell the Kaito airdrop, I would Katana airdrop, I'd sell them all. But the point of the matter is you can go and actively engage with some of these communities and earn some points. Some of them use platforms, so Galaxis, I think it's called. There's a few others that you can go and look at. And go and give Holly a follow. Go and follow her. What's she called? Holly underscore Web3. Go and give her a follow. And like I said, if you're interested in earning money from Web3, the best way to do that without any experience or without any CV is to go and farm some of these airdrops. Because when people turn around to you and say, "What experience have you got?" you can say, "I farmed the Katana airdrop and got 5,000 points. I did Kaito and got 2,000 points." And at least show that you have been active in the community. Now then, I said this again in my Chronos Pulse video on Sunday. In fact, I called the CEO of a exchange morally bankrupt. And I think I'm not going to change my opinion on that because I thought about it for 2 days before I called him morally bankrupt. Cupsy just watched a coin speedrun to $600,000 to zero, from $600,000 to zero in less than 2 minutes. He said, "Imagine being a normie right now. We are not getting retail back. If the trenches are going to come back to how it was, there needs to be more quality launches because this is not it." That Kanye West airdrop last week that was added to a few exchanges was unforgivable. I made a video about it. I've told you about the video that I made. I made a video in February 2025, 6 months ago, telling you not to buy this coin. In fact, on Friday, I said, "Have you bought this coin?" And 91% of you had said, "No, it's down 80%. It's trash." And it got listed on a centralized exchange that should know better. And until that changes, and I'm not going to change it, until that changes, we're not getting retail back. If retail doesn't come back, your bags don't get pumped. So all you are doing by buying this shit is keeping retail away. If you went into a pub and you got punched in the face, and then you went back to the same pub 6 months later and got punched in the face, would you ever go back to that pub again? Of course you wouldn't. So what makes these idiots think that they can push out this utter tripe to you and feed you this garbage for you to get punched in the face every 6 months? Because retail will get punched once and never come back. So why are we sitting here waiting for retail to come back when every time they come back, we rug them? We rugged them with Melania, we rugged them with Trump, we rugged them with Libra, we've rugged them with Kanye West. We rug retail. So don't sit there saying we haven't got retail back. I've been saying we haven't got retail back. My YouTube views tell me we haven't got retail back. And why are they going to come back when this crap keeps going on? Because this will make it into the media. Kanye West coin's gone down 85%. And what's that going to do? It's going to keep people away. It is utter nonsense. And exchanges need to make a concerted effort to at least do the bare minimum research. We said 12 months ago on this channel, we will not look at a coin less than 3 days old. Had that been applied to that exchange, the coin would already be down 85% when it gets listed. So you're buying the bottom of that coin. There's 3 of us. There's hundreds of people working for this exchange. Why are we making that decision here and they can't see what they're doing over there? Oh, that's right. Yeah, they want trading volume. It's not good enough. Talking of scams, I have this scammer following me and I cannot get this account closed down. If you are contacted by somebody on Twitter claiming to be me, it is not me. Okay? It's not me. I will never DM you. Never DM you unless you've won a prize, and then I will tell you to DM me. Right then, let's move on very quickly. This is the economic calendar for the week. Let's make sure that everything is up and running. Good morning, Tariq. I think ETH might go to 3,500. 3,500 isn't a bad guess, a bad shout either. The reason is that all coins have got to come down to then have the blow off top in November. And when we think it won't go any lower, it will go lower. I personally don't think Bitcoin is going below 104,000. There are charts out there saying 96,000. So I could be wrong. It could go to 96. Whatever we think, it always goes lower. And whatever we think, sometimes it goes a lot higher than we think. Now then, what is happening this week? New home sales on Monday. The Dallas Fed president is speaking. The New York Fed president is also speaking. Interesting. So 2 Fed presidents are talking today. That could cause some volatility in the market. S&P, nope. Consumer confidence, not that interested in it. Wednesday. Now, Wednesday's the day we normally have a lot of the fireworks. Nothing's happening on Wednesday. Thursday, we've got jobless claims. Home sales, both interesting, okay? And another Fed governor is talking on Thursday. And Friday, we have core PCE. Core PCE on Friday. So Friday is your day. Friday's your day of action, okay? So, Kishan, I know you're a degen. I know you 500x stuff. Don't do it on Friday. That's the day it's just going to go wrong. You're gambling on Friday, and you can get wiped out. They'll take you out at the bottom. They'll take you out at the top. Friday seems to be the day for me where we're going to see a lot of fireworks. We're going to move on. What should we look at first? Liquidation. Let's have a look at the liquidation data. We know what we're going to see, but we don't bring it up very often. Let's see who has been taken out. I imagine we're going to be looking at about 400. I'm going to go for about $400 million worth of liquidations in the last 24 hours. That's going to be my bet. And again, just a bit of a warning. I've not read a single article I'm going to cover on this stream. And the reason is... I've not had time to read them. Right. 24-hour liquidations, 800 million. That is tasty. 800 million in liquidations. Longs, 646. Shorts, 164. Once the longs get taken out, then the shorts get normally taken out. And maybe that happens today, maybe that happens tomorrow. But if I'm in a position and I'm in profit, I am at least going to move my stop loss into profit. So if I am up, I think somebody out there, I'm not going to say names, somebody out there is up a few $100s. I would move my stop loss to claim about $120 of that. So I'd put my stop loss and move it to the position where you, at the worst you're going to come out with $120. That's what I would do. And that's if I'm still really, really bullish on my move, which is fine. Now, DXY is moving up ever so slowly. And look what happened again. What did we say was going to happen? It was going to test. It was going to test. And it was going to test. So 3 times it has tried to break its own moving average. And it has failed 3 times. So I would expect us to break it on the 4th attempt. So I think the DXY will be back probably near 100. in the next week or two. That would be my guess. So I think we're going to do that. I don't want to talk too much about the DXY. It really isn't that important, but I just wanted to bring that up to show you. This is probably the most important one that we cover, and that is Bitcoin dominance. Now, I've already said Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, is going to break back to the upside. I don't mean it's going to break back to the upside today, but it's going to break back to the upside. We're probably below 60% now. What are we at? 50 what? 58 are we down to? Are we on the daily? Right, okay. So, 58.25. Now, you'll see my red line of what I think is going to happen. And that's what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to change it because we've gone even lower. I think we are going to do that. I think we're going to move to the upside, and nothing is going to change my opinion on that. This Bitcoin dominance breakdown, however, is starting to look like the election breakdown, where we did this move before, where we went from, where did we go from? Went from 61.3 down to 54. So that's a 7% move. This has gone down from 66 to 57. That's a 9% move, 8% move. So this has actually been more of a move than the election. But the majority of this move has been to do with Ethereum, not the alts. Ethereum. Ethereum's run from what, 2,000 and a bit to $5,000. That's the move. And I just don't see Ethereum going back up. Now, if Ethereum breaks down, so let's say by Friday, we have Ethereum at, let's say, what Simon is saying, 4,400. That's another 5% move down. Now, let's say that Bitcoin goes back to 116,000. That's a 5% move in Ethereum to the downside and a 5% move, roughly 5% move in Bitcoin to the upside. So this is probably going to move back up here. Okay, maybe not such an extensive move as that, but I think that move is on the cards. We can talk about Ethereum all we want, but at some point it stops running for now. And I think Ben Cowen has said something similar. I disagreed with him in one point, but agreed with him on another point. And the point I agree with him on is that Bitcoin is going to be back above 60%, 61% by the end of September. Now, for that to happen, if Bitcoin doesn't move, so if Bitcoin stays at 115,000, but Bitcoin dominance is back over 60%, then the only way that can happen is if the alts start to bleed against Bitcoin again. And that is probably what we're going to see. Now, I'm going to show you the ETH Bitcoin chart, which I haven't shown you in ages. And this is going to be dramatic. As charts go, this is dramatic. Sometimes charts can be dramatic. Right, let's have a little look. Also, don't forget, smash the like button and say hello. Oh my, John Foster Crypto has just come in and said exactly the same thing, whoever that is. I don't understand, sorry Mike. Do you mean that this week by Friday, ETH and Sol will go more higher? No, I mean Friday, we are going to have fireworks because we're going to see the PCE data coming out on Friday. Between now and then, we have 3 Fed chairmen talking. Now, if all of them come out and say it's time for rate cuts, the markets are going to recover. But we don't know what they're going to say at all. Right, this was... If I could play Rocky music, I'd be playing Rocky music right now. You know the bit where Sylvester Stallone is running up the steps? And he's running up the steps, and it's tough. It's hard. Where was it? Pennsylvania or somewhere. Well, you see my white line that I drew? I don't know how long ago I drew that white line. Well, we have finally got back to the white line, which is 004. What does that mean in English? 25 Ethereum will buy you 1 Bitcoin. That is what 0.04 means. 0.5, for example, means 2 Ethereum will buy 1 Bitcoin. So, all of this line means, and again, let's get rid of some of these things here so we can tidy it all up. What does this mean? It means that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. It bottomed here at, what's that? Below 0.2. And now it's at 0.41. So it's doubled against Bitcoin. Now, reaching this line is significant. It really is significant because a lot of people, including me, a lot of people thought that this was going to be the low of Ethereum against Bitcoin, 0.04. Some people called 0.03, which was... Move that line around, hang on. There, okay. So a lot of people said 0.03. I said 0.04. It actually went below 0.02, which is absolutely dramatic. And again, lots of external factors can affect that. The ETF flows into Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. But we're back at the point where Ethereum is now probably where it should be. And again, we've said this before. Ethereum has just played catch-up. Even though it's at all-time high, it's played catch-up. Remember, the Bitcoin all-time high was 69,000. We've run up to almost double the all-time high. Where's Ethereum? Ethereum should be at what? If Bitcoin has doubled its previous all-time high, where should Ethereum be? It should be at $8,000 or $9,000. It's not. It's only caught up, and it's caught up to the bottom of the range. So all of this celebration about Ethereum is wonderful, great. We've all made a lot of money, but Ethereum is nowhere near where it should be. Back here. Back in the heady days of 2021 and 2022, 11 Ethereum could buy you 1 Bitcoin. Now think about that today. If Bitcoin is 110,000 and 11 Ethereum can buy you 1 Bitcoin, that means 1 Ethereum should be worth $10,000. So put that into context of what we've done. And a lot of coins are the same. You can look at Cardano. You can look at Solana. Look at those coins. They've not put in all-time highs. Most coins outside the top 10 haven't put or got anywhere near all-time highs. So although it's great that we've hit $5,000 on Ethereum, and great, look at the chart against Bitcoin. It hasn't got back to anywhere near where it should be against Bitcoin. So it's lovely, and I'm very happy for it, but we're not there yet. We are not there yet. Now then, very quickly, we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart, and then we might actually get on to some news, because I get to say, it's a bank holiday Monday. It's a bank holiday Monday. We should do what we want on a bank holiday Monday. If you are in chat and you haven't said hello, say hello. And if you are in chat and you haven't spoken for a while and you're asleep, let me know, and I'll shout down the microphone and wake you up. By the way, this, whatever this is, it keeps something incredibly cold or incredibly hot, and it's actually kept my coffee hot for 4 hours yesterday. It's a taste sensation. Now, again, lots of people are worried. Lots of people don't watch my stream, clearly. Where are we on my little graph? Oh, that's right. We're following my red line. You know the red line that I drew all that time ago? Well, we're following it. And can you see where we've come down to? We've came down to my line. So what do you think is going to happen? We're going to move back up. That move back up is the 1st of September, a week away. Then we might come down a little bit more. And then Bitcoin might start getting towards the middle of September and back up to this range. Now, for those of you that may not have seen my stream before, this is a channel that we entered back in kind of the middle of July. So 6 weeks ago. And we have, yes, broken the top. And yes, we've wicked below it. So it is a guide and nothing more. Okay, because I do not have a third eye in the middle of my head to predict the future. But what it shows you is that Bitcoin, look at the last time we did this. Okay, look at the last time we did this. It looks awful like the time we've just had. And what happened after we came down like that? We had this move to the upside. So I expect this move to the upside. And where is that move to the upside? For argument's sake, it's about 117, 118,000. Now, if this data that comes out this week, if the three Fed chairmen all talk positively, we can see Bitcoin moving back up. Maybe we get, because we don't have to do a full send, we might do a half send. A half send is about 115,000 and a full send is about 119,000. And yes, it might not happen, and we might have this here, a very weak pump. Because until I think we see a rate cut, I don't think we really move. Now, given that my chart has been around for 6 or 7 weeks, why is everybody so worried about Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else when we've done nothing but range? We've ranged, so why are you worried? I've shown you this chart every week for at least the last 4 weeks. And when we were up here, which was 2 weeks ago, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to go to all-time highs when we hit 150,000, then we're going to go to $3 million and we're all going to be really, really rich. No. We are so rich. It's so over. Okay? It's all over, sorry. We broke out, yes. And what did we do after we broke out? We came straight back down. Ethereum is likely to do the same thing. So Simon is likely to cash out a big chunk of profit at 4,400. And Fautic in chat, who said 3,800, he's absolutely, or she's absolutely entitled to that target, because that's not a bad target. We've come down. Now, this never works for me, okay? This never works. Oh, my days, I've got it to work. Now, that is only an 11% move down. Now, just out of interest, to come down to the top of our bull market support band is only a 13% move. Now, hang on a sec. I think if we go to 96,000, which is here, that's a 20% move. I would be happy to see that as the final boss before the bull run. Okay? The final boss before the bull run is a 20 or 30% correction. I don't think we're going to see a 30% correction, because that takes us down to about 86,000. If you listen to the Oracle and if you listen to KB, they have 86,000. And that is a perfectly reasonable target to have, because it's a 30% correction. I think we're going to get a 20% correction, which is 96. That's clearly below 100,000. But it's only one scenario. The other scenario is this little line here keeps moving up every week. So that little line there is another scenario, which is, let's just call it 107,000. Okay? 107,000 is the next target. So let's say the data comes in hot, and let's say they're a bit hawkish this week. Then we go to 107,000. KB has got 110, which we've hit. I have the bottom of my range, which is 111. Let's not argue about $1,000, kind of the same range. But worst case is 107. And then, before the end of September, 107 might give way. Then we go to 96. Then we might go to 86, but I don't see that. So until those things come to pass, I mean, to go up, we really need to come down. You know, we need to really have a dump. And if you go back, I don't think it's going to work on the daily. Let's go back to the weekly. Hang on. So if you go back here, okay, to the last cycle, look how far we had to come down to grab the liquidity to shoot us up. Okay, we had to do that. Now, if we did that this time, oh, Jesus, I've just copied the entire screen across. Right. So let's say we had to do that. Okay. Where does that take us? Takes us down to 80,000. That wasn't far off either. So to go up, we have to come down. We don't go up, pause, go up and pause, go up and pause when we wanted to do a massive blow off top. So I think let's not be too unhappy with where we are. I see so many fretful people on the internet And I just don't understand it. You know, this is the time to think about taking profits. Like I said, I was thinking about selling a little bit of ETH. Why? Because I bought it at $70. I've bought it at $70 and we're now at $5,000. So what's that? 70x? More? And I've held it a long time. I've held it for before 2017, 2019, something like that. I held it a long time. It's been through Celsius. It's been through other exchanges. It's been staked on the proof of stake. It was staked on proof of stake before proof of stake existed. I've had it a long time. It's been a very big part of my crypto journey, but I am not married to my Ethereum. Ethereum has been lovely to me, but there will be a time to say goodbye. Bitcoin flash crash, Sunday liquidations as Ether rotation builds. A flush of long liquidations can reset the market for a cleaner bounce, while a cluster of short wipes can fuel the next leg higher. Again, we don't really see, we'll just do this little bit. Bitcoin experienced a flash crash, dropping below 111,000 after a whale sold 24,000 Bitcoin, causing significant market liquidations. Ether has shown resilience, trading at 4,007, while analysts suggesting a shift in institutional focus from Bitcoin to Ether. The rally in Ether is driven by institutional buying and its growing role, stablecoins, smart contracts, yabba 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 yabba. Some targeting $10,000. Again, technically speaking, we should be at $10,000. Why are we not at $10,000? $70. Yeah, I mined Ethereum. I had a miner. I've got a really long story to tell you, and I can't tell it you now. But the premise is, I had a miner in the country, the big country. And my miner was over there with a couple of people that I knew that ran my miner over there. There wasn't just my miner, there's loads of miners. And anyway, they got a visit by a big group of very bad people. And in the middle of the night, they packed up their van and they drove from all the way through Europe, all the way to Spain. Took them a while to get here. They vanished. And then they got here, and the guy got caught here by the same people who had him in and they beat him. They whipped him, and his back got, it was awful. So yeah, I've been mining Ethereum since the dark days. And I'll tell that story one day, but I won't tell it on this platform. I'll have to tell it somewhere else. And then another one of those guys has been in the press because he ran a scheme which has cost millions of pounds, and he is now sitting in... is he in Marbella? No, he's in Malaga. He's in Malaga. So many stories back when it was cowboy era. And this is why I don't want it to be cowboy era anymore, because I don't want to see people whipped and beaten with sticks or chased out of countries by gangs. I don't want to see that anymore. I want those days to be gone. But I've got plenty of stories to tell about stuff like that. So anyway, Bitcoin dumped the 24,000 Bitcoin. Ask yourself a question. Why did somebody do this on a Sunday night? Why did they wait until the lowest period of liquidity to dump 24,000 Bitcoin? Because that wouldn't get them the best price. That would dump the market. The whale sent the full balance to Hyperunit with 12,000 transferred on Sunday, as CoinDesk reported earlier Monday that the move erased gains from Fed Chair's speech on Friday, sparked heavy selling across the market. So again, why did he do it on a Sunday night? If it was me, I would do it on a Thursday afternoon when the markets are open in America, but that's just me. If I wanted to inflict max pain on the market, I would do it on a Sunday night. And when it happened on Sunday night, I was like, yep, somebody's done this on purpose to kick the market. Let them kick the market. Bitcoin will still be here. Ethereum will still be here. Don't get shaken out by these idiots. Costa del Sol is notorious. Tariq, my friend, I didn't hit him or whip him. It was the people that wanted him. They were trying to take what they wanted him to do, not us. I wasn't involved. What they wanted him to do was send all of the mining ETH, the ETH that they were mining, to this gang. That's what they wanted. And anyway, if you look hard enough on my YouTube channel, you will find one of those individuals, because I made a video about them, asking them to hand himself into the police. And that involved the police. That involved a police chase. That involved a load of investors chasing them as well. But again, I don't think I can talk about them on Binance. I don't know whether I could talk about... I mean, I probably could talk about them on YouTube. But they're pretty hairy stories. I mean, a lot of it's been in the press. You know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? Tomorrow, I'll dig out one of the articles and I'll read it on the stream, just so you can see. And I knew him very well. And he was one of the guys that set up the mining farm. And then he set up another business. And I don't think he's to blame, by the way. I think his dev team stole the keys and ran off with the money. I believe his side of the story because it makes more sense. Now then, this is not loading. Well, we'll just skip. We've got no time. Monday's always the worst day because we do all of the charts on a Monday. And I don't want to really... yeah, I think you'd like it. I mean, like I say, I was never involved. And somebody said to me, have you heard of this company? I'm like, nope. Oh, it's run by X. Oh, yeah, I know X. I know him very well. And it's really cool. What you do is you get to... What was he doing it now? He was paying you out 2% a month. I'm like, yeah, 2% a month. That sounds about right. On Bitcoin, yeah, paying out 2% Bitcoin. Really? Okay. And one of the guys that lost a lot of money, he used to run the Gibraltar Music Festival out here, and now he no longer runs it. And you can probably guess why. Various analysts are convinced that ETH will continue to outperform Bitcoin. Now, again, I actually agree with this. I do. I was actually thinking about the same thing a couple of days ago. Where are we going to go with Bitcoin by the end of the year? Let's say the best scenario is 160,000. Let's just pick a number, 160,000. That's a 50% gain for Bitcoin this cycle. This year. 50% up from where we are. Puts us about 160,000. Now, if Ethereum goes to where I think it's going to go to, which is $7,000 to $9,000 from where we are now, that is about an 80 to 90% move. So, in theory, I think this is actually a really good take. Now, Raoul Pal, I actually really like the guy. Salt of the earth. He will do streams with a bottle of wine where he just answers your questions. I really like him on that side. A lot of the stuff he does with Sui and Solana and Ethereum, I think he's like a hired gun. And that's where I'm not going to not like a guy because of his decisions. If somebody paid me $1 million to talk about Sui, I would take it. Don't even believe for 1 second I wouldn't. I have a price, and yes, it's very high, it's $1 million, but I have a price. He was an ETH maxi. Then he became a Sol maxi, and then Sui came after him, and now he's a Sui maxi. And he's talking about these crap NFTs as well, which I don't like. But anyway, the point of the matter is, his takes are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the majority of them are right. Look at his Banana Zone prediction. He's got it absolutely spot on. I don't agree that it's led by the M2 money supply, but that's what everybody else thinks, so maybe they're all right, and I am wrong. But he has said that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, and I will agree. Because I think from here on in, I think Ethereum and the alts are going to make more money. Bitcoin's already got to $125,000. It's already doubled its previous all-time high. You have to get out of this belief that I keep trying to get you out of, that we're running to $500,000. It's not going to happen. In the last cycle, we were running to $100,000. We got to 69. Everybody was holding their bags into the bear market. You get told we're going to go to $300,000 by somebody. It ain't happening. It's not happening. We can be absolutely fair and say maybe we run to $200,000, $195,000, and I'll be ecstatic. Maybe we even go to 210, 205, but we're not going to 300 or 500,000. That will take a lot longer, maybe another 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. Now, Ethereum, on the other hand, Ethereum's got a long way to go. Ethereum is entering this stage now where everyone's talking about it. We're seeing, treasuries upon treasuries. We're seeing, what's his face? Tom Collins, whatever he's called, Tim. He's out there preaching the Ethereum gospel. Lots of people are on board in Ethereum. Smaller market cap, easy to move. Smaller market cap, easy to move. Therefore, in my opinion, this take is absolutely spot on. Raul's take is absolutely spot on. He's a great guy, and he's got a really good taste in red wine, which, again, that appeals to me. It's like cat and dog owners, except with me, it's wine. If Simon in chat said to me, I'm not a red wine man, I'm a white wine man, I would think lesser of Simon. Now, Tariq obviously doesn't drink alcohol. I fully understand that. But if Tariq said to me he was a cat man and not a dog man, I would think less of Tariq. I judge people based on their pets and their taste in alcohol. And I like him. I think he's a really good guy. And I think this is a solid take. We don't need to go into too much of the take because I think we pretty much covered it. The emerging consensus within the crypto sector is, of course, Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. I totally agree. Fingers on the pulse. Tom Lee, that's the guy, not Tom Collins. That's a drink. Tom Lee, he has been buying Ethereum. And what I think is happening, this is my take. This is my hot take. Okay. I think companies are looking at who is going to be the dominant holder in each market. Now, Bitcoin is big enough to have multiple dominant holders, which is Strategy and BlackRock. Ethereum, who is going to become the dominant holder of Ethereum? Probably Tom Lee. Did I just say Tom Lee? Memory like a sieve. Tom Lee. Now, I think there's going to be a dominant Solana holder, and I think there's going to be a dominant Sui holder as well. And I think, in all seriousness, that is how people are going to try and hedge their bets. They're going to invest in companies who are the dominant holder of those coins, because that's what I would do. If I was in stocks and shares, and I'd say, right, I want to get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Okay, who's the top performer in Bitcoin? Right, well, it's either the miners or it's Strategy. I'm going to go with Strategy. Who is the top performer in Ethereum? It is clearly Tom Lee's company. I'm going to go into Tom Lee's company. That's how I would play it. I wouldn't want to try and custody my own tokens. I'd want to hold the tokens of a company that holds those tokens. And that's my take. I've not heard that from anybody else, but I think that's how it's going to play out. And I think the same thing, maybe a few years down the line, maybe there'll be a dominant player in Litecoin as well, and all of the other ETFs. That's how I think I would play it if I was an investor. So again, Sol will outperform Ethereum, yes. And very simply put, if Solana is at 200, I think it will go to $600 to $1,000. That's a 3x. I don't see Ethereum doing a 3x. It could do a 2x. I don't see Bitcoin doing a 2x. I see it doing a half x. So again, this stage of the cycle, we're at the end game. Don't come to crypto and think that you are going to buy Bitcoin and be a millionaire next year. The only way you're going to be a millionaire next year with Bitcoin is if you buy 6 of them now, and that's worth $660,000. Then technically, yes, you'll become a millionaire from it. But don't buy 3 Bitcoin and think you're going to be a millionaire next year, because you are going to be sadly mistaken. Now then. Yes, again, Simon. It's brought the business. White with fish, yes. And red with steak. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Guinness. Hold is gold. Absolutely. I think I coined a term a few weeks ago, and I'm waiting for it to appear because someone's going to hear it and use it, and then I'm going to claim credit. Bitcoin is the never sell asset. That's my claim. That's what I'm saying. I said it on stream a few weeks ago and I thought that's going to stick. Bitcoin is a never sell asset. You never sell it. Everything else, you sell. If you marry one coin, you marry Bitcoin, and that's it. Leaked document. By the way, how long do we have left? Because if we don't have a lot of time left, we've got 6 minutes. Actually, you know what? We're down to Hidden Agenda. We've not done too bad. Considering it's taken me 20 minutes to put the stream together, I've not done too bad. Leaked document fuels talk of Ripple's hidden agenda in global finance. Now, is this a clue? Is Brad Garlinghouse hidden agenda in chat? Is that why he is winning all of the quizzes? I think so. I think Brad's got better stubble than me. He's got better suits than I, clearly. I think Hidden Agenda watches my stream. And I think Hidden Agenda is Brad Garlinghouse. That's it. We've got Kevin Bacon, who's watched our streams. And we've got Hidden Agenda, who is Brad Garlinghouse. The two most famous people who've ever watched a Crypto Warehouse stream, by the way. The two people are Justin Sun, watched us when we streamed on another platform. Oh, I nearly said the name then. We streamed on a platform once, and Justin Sun was watching it because we were streaming with 2 or 3 other people on that platform. And it was like a big thing, and they did a big giveaway and stuff like that. And we were on there, and I think he came in. He had the VIP level that I'd never seen before. It was like a little sparkly diamond VIP level. And it wasn't his platform, by the way. It was on somebody else's platform. He just came in to say congratulations. So Justin Sun and CZ. Only once, very long time ago, maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago, CZ watched our stream. So that's it. Two most famous people that we're aware of that have ever watched our streams. Now then, Ripple may be plotting a much bigger role in the future of money than previously thought. I don't think so, because I think they've got a pretty big plan for money. The buzz circulating after a leak from a former Swiss banker who claims to have seen a confidential cooperation agreement involving Ripple, a Swiss bank, and a US blockchain infrastructure firm. What raised eyebrows in the leak wasn't just the mention of settlement rails, but references biometric identity systems tied to financial transactions. The document allegedly outlines plans to merge compliance, digital ID, and tokenized assets into a single network that could use XRP as the neutral bridge. I'm all on board with this. Analysts say this lines up with the broader industry themes. JP Morgan recently called digital identity the foundation of Web3, arguing that a secure, verifiable identity layer will be as important as the payment rails themselves. I have been saying, again, for over a year now, go and look at the video I made about, what was it? I made it about Monero. Privacy coins are dead. They're finished. And they were finished the day that crypto started getting adoption. If I send money to Kishan, and let's say I employ Kishan, and I send Kishan $1,000, and let's say it's a spoof address. At this moment in time, it's gone. Now, let's say there is a biometric digital ID of me and a digital biometric ID of Kishan. Nobody in the world, short of having Kishan in the room, is going to be able to cash that out. I don't care about Big Brother. I care about you losing your money. And I am all on board with this digital ID. And there is room in Web3 for the payments to be with digital ID and biometrics. And there is room in this world for Web3 to exist with DeFi. And outside of that, there is room for both. And I'm all on board with this. Absolutely all on board with it. I'm on board with it with healthcare, real world integration. Your house. Imagine if your house was tied to your biometric data. Imagine if your health card was in your biometric data. So you go on holiday. So let's say Simon and Tariq go on holiday to meet up in Canada. And Tariq and Simon are in a car crash. Not serious car crash. It was a car crash. Both unconscious. And they both scan their fingerprints, thumbprints, whatever it might be. And suddenly you've got all of Tariq's medical data, and you've got all of Simon's medical data. And they're both unconscious. Nobody knows who they are. You know that they both have an allergy to penicillin, for example. Then you're able to treat them faster. Why is that not a world we want to live in? Of course it is. Why do I want to live in a world where I can't send Simon money without the fear of it being hijacked or his wallet being drained? Why? Biometric data is the key, and I agree. I also agree with Vitalik that we need some level of privacy. And I agree. That level of privacy is where the government can't spy on your data, but you can use your data to grant them access to your medical records. It's a simple system. The Trump's new coin goes live on the 1st of September. Willifly. I'm going to buy it if it doesn't absolutely rocket to the moon. This is not a scam coin. It's the World Liberty Financial coin. It's probably going to be on every single exchange. Think of it this way. If the President of America is going to have his own coin and he's got free reign for the next 3 years, what do you think that coin is going to do? It is going to absolutely moon. Now, he's going to make it moon. Of course he is. He's trying to get power away from the banks. So it's going to moon. I would be wholeheartedly on board with that. It could use your fingers to drain your wallet. If you're in a hospital bed, Simon, okay, on life support, with Tariq next year, the last thing you care about is your wallet. And they've also got to get to your wallet as well. You're not going to have your wallet in your pocket. That would be crazy. You wouldn't go to Canada with all of your crypto wealth in your wallet. Anyway, we're probably going to run out of time, aren't we? I'll put some of those articles in tomorrow because they're not really like super important. One of them was about Cardano and one of them was about Litecoin. I don't think we need to speak about either of them really. They are important, but they're not time sensitive. So let's get rid of that. So there we go. Full screen now. Yeah, so it's a bank holiday here. I don't know what it is where you are. I don't know if it's a bank holiday just where I am. But I've got to make another video after this of the winners of the Delphi Trade giveaway. I did say, actually, that's what I'm going to do now. I am going to put the giveaway, the Crypto Warehouse giveaway Telegram group, I'm going to put that into the YouTube channel. I am not going to put it onto Binance, okay? I am not going to start farming Binance for people to join the Crypto Warehouse giveaway channel. But let me bring it up. Let's get this. Give me 1 second. Right. So if you're not in here, why not? Because I announce all if I went to Canada, I'd lock up all of my assets before I went to Canada because they're likely to lock you up. Right, that is our Telegram group. And we do giveaways in there quite a lot. And when I mean quite a lot, I mean every other day. So to give you an idea of the giveaways that we have done in the last week, we have given away BC token. We have given away WolfSwap token. We have given away Moon, sorry, not WolfSwap token, Moon. We have, what else have we given away in there? We've advertised the competition for Delphi Trade. That's been in there. We've advertised the Orbi giveaway in there. So in the last week, we've done about 4 or 5 different giveaways. We did a Friday giveaway as well, which was just 3 random people. Make sure you go and join that. Kishan's in there. I don't know if Tariq is in there actually, but go and join it. And I'm not going to spam the group. It's a read-only group. So the only time you should get notified is me and maybe the Oracle. That's it. I think Danny might be in there as well. So go and check that out. And don't forget, Wednesday night is Mew night. We'll be doing all things Mew on Wednesday. Maybe from the office this time. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, thank you, everybody. I'm actually knackered now. I've not had anywhere near enough. Just do a little bit more advertising. There we go. See? Binance. See that? Binance. Yeah, so basically I'm back tomorrow. I'm going to put out the winners video probably in a few hours. So have a great day and I will see you in the morning. Thank you for watching. By the way, Packer, if you've watched to the end, I have tried to turn the volume on the music down pretty much to 0 and I've turned the mic volume up. So it should be a lot better. Maybe Moon is the next one. Anyway, I'll see you all on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.